Hello and welcome to Ask the Young Cow. I just want to say welcome to everybody watching. We're here again another week with the Young Cow guys. I'm Leon Street and he is
Jack.
Welcome. If you've got any questions throughout the show, leave them on the Hangout page or you can hashtag us via Twitter. The handle is on top of the screen, so at Young Cow UK. So if you've got any questions about internet marketing or web design, please ask. But otherwise, we've prepared a small presentation really just to give you a taster of some of the questions that we're normally asked when it comes to web design. So we normally cover internet marketing and web design, but in particular, we've got 10 questions for web design today. And so hopefully you're going to find some answers to probably some questions you've been thinking about or you might be asking or considering, especially if you're upgrading your website or looking at a whole brand new project for a new website project. I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to add to that. Is that about right, Jack?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is just switch to screen share just so you can see. So hashtag Ask the Young Cow. That's what the ATYC stands for. And so what I'll do is just move down. First question. So the top 10 questions to ask yourself when you're investing in a new website, upgrading a website, or just changing your website. So question one is, who's your target audience and what do they expect from you? Why is this such an important question? Well, the reason why you should ask yourself this question is the more you understand who your target audience is and what they expect from you, the better you can serve them. And the reason for that is you're putting together a website that will serve a particular target group, maybe one, maybe more than one group. And so you need to think about who are they? So how are you going to reach out to them with your website? What is it that they're going to expect? And to really start to understand who they are. And so from this, you'll start to firm up the idea of how you can get your products and services out on your website to this particular type of audience. And so it's really important, just like when you're starting an internet marketing campaign, the key thing is that you want to understand who your target audience is as part of your research for what you're doing in order to better serve them. So when you start your website project, you think about your target audience because at the end of the day, it's your customers who will be using your website, not you. Now, more often than not, when we have internet marketing projects or website projects, sometimes the customer is very explicit. They say, we really want to have this. And so we get this occasionally with some of the clients that we work with, small business clients and their websites, but it's not always true in terms of the things they want that their customers expect to see on their website. So bear this in mind when you're thinking about your website. First of all, think about your target audience and their level of expectation. What is it that they want to see? What pictures, videos, contents, the way it looks, what device? And we're going to go into more specific questions as we go through these top 10 shortly. So what I'll do is just jump back into the presentation and we're going to switch over to our next question. So the next question, Jack, is over to you.
Yeah. So the second question is, what problems will your content solve? So is the content that you've got on your website removing any objections that they may have? And what this will do then is it'll make them really know what they're doing on the website. If you've got any frequently asked questions, they won't need to, well, I wouldn't say hassle, but they wouldn't contact you with any questions because you've already answered them.
Yeah.
And really, it's just about removing any objections so they can just fill in the form or fill out the action that you've got on your website.
Yeah. So the key point, and as Jack's pointing out here, is what problems will your content solve? Now, think of it like this. Somebody who you've identified in your target audience comes onto your website. Yeah, so for us, it would be like a small business owner, somebody who wants to grow their business through their website and run an internet marketing campaign. And so the whole point is that they come to your website to find information, and the information that they're coming for is answers to the problem that they have. So it might be, as an example, one of our particular target audience groups is they want a website, but they're not sure about who to work with. Are they trusted? So do you have a guarantee? Do you have reviews? Do you have unique selling points? And as Jack pointed out, do you have frequently asked questions? Because the whole point of your FAQs, frequently asked questions, is to answer questions that the customer is probably thinking about already. And if you can answer them questions before they actually get in touch, there's far more likelihood, or the likelihood is that they will get in touch because you've answered their questions. So therefore, there's no longer as many objections. And so the more finer detail questions that they're probably saving or holding back until they speak to somebody or send an email to communicate with somebody are now answered. So they're in a position to say, well, there's no more questions probably up here. Let's email them. Let's give them a call. Yeah. And so they're the kind of things that we're talking about in terms of what problems does your content solve, and what format could that content be, Jack?
Well, it could be with bullet points, 3 magic buckets.
Yeah.
Which just mainly.
What are magic buckets?
Good question.
Sounds like a wizard.
No, basically the 3 magic buckets are the 3 main products or services that you might offer, and they are the main things that you want your visitors to see.
Okay. Where would they normally appear?
These 3 magic buckets would appear under the image slider, and the image slider is a big design point of a website.
Cool.
Because that will be the biggest image that will be on the website, and is the best place to show your products off, really.
If you've got a fixed image and not a slider, that will work beautifully as well, especially if you've only got one call to action, or if you've got one main product or service. The other thing is what we're doing today. You could have video on there answering some of the potential objections. You might have videos to, you know, really give people a feel for what your business is, who you are, what you look like, what you sound like, what you do. Hence us doing the live hangout today. And this is how we get our content out there to solve the problems of our customers. And so by putting this out there, people get the answers. And so that's what these questions and live sessions are all about. So remember, hashtag Ask the Young Cow. I know Jack's got a bit of a sign over there. Just get over there, it's by the back here. There you go, guys. ATYC. Cool. All right, then. So what we're going to do is switch back to the presentation. Let's find it, Jack. Where has it gone? So questions. So we're just sharing our presentation again. So we're going to move on to question 3. So we're now at 8 minutes past 1. Time's flying, Jack. Yeah. So we're a third of the way through. Okay. Third question then is, how will your website work? Now you've really got to think about this one. This is all to do with functionality, clicking on buttons, filling in forms, adding to baskets, those kind of things. So what you need to understand is when you're thinking about putting your website together, that you've considered your audience, you've considered what their level of expectations are, yeah, what they'll expect. You've thought about your content, and this has probably come from your content strategy, which in turn has probably come from your marketing plan. So you understand what problems your content solves. That makes sense? I'm sure it does. So now with the functionality, you've got to wrap that into the different aspects of how your website works. So like I said, if you want lead forms to capture people's names, email addresses, you might have an ebook opt-in or some opt-in to show something like it's like a tripwire. So you might have like a video or an ebook, as I mentioned. There might be other things. You might have say a PowerPoint presentation slide that people can download, something of value. You might have e-commerce functionality. So if you are selling online, you'll probably want to then have add to basket. You'll probably have product reviews, all of these kind of things. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of functionality. The other things to consider is then the functionality of how you operate and manage your website. So two different scenarios here. First is, do you have a brochure style website? So the brochure style website is like an informational website where you don't particularly sell anything, but what you do is present information. So whether you have text, images, videos on your website, frequently asked questions, your services and products. And then you have lead capture forms where people fill in a form on your website. So that's particular types of functionality for a brochure style website. If you have an e-commerce website where you do actually sell online, you're probably going to have a few other things going on behind the scenes. So you need to manage orders to make sure that when the orders are shipped, you notify your customers. And so it's automatically done by email and various other things. You might want to know how many people have gone onto your website, so the visitor stats. And so there's quite a bit of functionality to consider. And so for me, you need to really put down a list of all the things you expect that you'll need to do on the website, and then a list of the things that you will expect your customers to be able to do when they're on the website. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's just about if you've got newsletter capture forms, that you do them in a way that is appealing to the visitor. Because it's good having it on there, but you also need to get them to fill it in because that's the action you want to get them to do.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question now, Jack, just because you said appealing. What do you mean by appealing?
Well, it's all about the layout and design, really. You're not going to have a contact form and just have it as a plain box and just put it at the bottom of the website because not everyone will go to the bottom of the website. So placement, that's one thing. Placement. Really, it's a lot of newsletters will be put in a right sidebar or something like that. So a sidebar is just a proportion of the window that'll be on the right or the left. Okay. And really, we normally do cursive design, so like handwriting font, just to make it look a bit different. Good contrast. And I'm pushing him here on purpose. See, that's the main thing, really. That you want it to jump out to the people, really, because it's just what you want them to fill in. Okay, great. Can we move on to our next question then, Jack? Okay, so this is question 4, guys. What I'm going to do here is jump onto the presentation once more. So we just get that back up. So question 4 is research. What are the competition doing? So we're looking at our competition here, get ideas. So I'll just share this on screen with you. There you go. So research. What are the competition doing? This is where you get ideas from the people out there. So what would be a good way to find out who the competition are, Jack? The best place to start would be to search one of your keywords. So by keywords, we mean what you would expect people to search for your website. Yeah, so your products and services. Yeah, so for us, it'd be maybe web design in Wolverhampton. Yeah. And what we would do then is look at the top 10 search results, and we would open them all up and find what we think they're doing well and also where we think we could improve on what they already do. Yeah, cool. What I would like to add to that is if you are looking at your competitors, don't necessarily think you have to stick to the town that you belong to. You could go national. And the reason why I say that is because probably your idea for your next website project is huge, and you don't want to be limited by probably what the local businesses are doing, especially if they're not innovative or you don't feel their websites are groundbreaking or really pushing that innovation curve. And really that's where you want to be with your project. And so if it is a product or service that other companies offer throughout the UK, well, just go to Google, search for your product or service or the type of industry, put your keywords into Google, search, and look at who the top 10 are, look at who the top 20 are even, if you want a bit more ideas. I mean, normally what I would suggest is probably find 5 key competitors, and you're not trying to copy them. This is a really important thing here, because if you go ahead and copy somebody, it may be that you're copying something, a design, a particular type of functionality, the way that it's laid out, because that's how they want it working for their target audience. This is a really important point, and why we had target audience as point 1, the first question you should ask, because you want to take the ideas so that they, those ideas that you take have a direct correlation with what you set out in question 1. How will it serve your target audience, and what will their level of expectation be when they come to your website? So I hope that makes sense. So look at your competition. Some good things to do is screenshot the favorite things that you like. So take a print screen on your computer or on your device, paste it into a document, so then you can analyze all of them together. So it's a really useful tool. And what I like to do is move on to question 5. Okay, so if we can get this presentation loading. I don't know why there seems to be a lag for some reason with the technology today. So we're going to share it. Here we are. What layout and design is right for me? So the whole point in us in question 4 is saying, looking at your competition, is so that you can start to consider not only functionality and the things that your competitors are doing, but also you can probably start to work out what layout and design is right for you, because maybe you aren't clear in terms of what the layout should be like. And so you use your competition as a way to bridge a potential gap in terms of ideas or what you think will work for your website. So look at your competition, go to some probably template websites out there, Theme Forest, Template Monster. Look at what works for you, look at what works in your industry, look at what your competition are doing. Yeah, because then you're probably going to start to find what will work for you. And then even if it is a mashup of some ideas from templates, competitors, and your own input into the design brief,
that is a far better way to start your website project. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think about the content as well. It links
Yeah.
in that if you know what sort of content you've got, then it's easy to mold it around the website
Yeah.
template.
Correct.
And it'll just be a more focused website then.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jack. Okay, so we'll get our next question up. We're getting through this quite quickly now, so we're halfway there. So we're moving on to question 6, guys. So question 6, here we are. How will I update my website? I'm going to hand over to you on this one, Jack, first one, and I'm going to come in afterwards. So
Right.
how will I update my website?
Well, most of the websites now come with or are based upon a content management system.
Mhm.
And the content management system allows you to go in, change text, images. If you had an e-commerce site, you could change products, product listings, prices, and things like that.
Yeah.
And also, if you've got an image slider like we mentioned earlier, or a static image, you can go in, create your own design, and also place that onto the website as well. So you have pretty much full control over your website.
Okay, so content management systems. What if, well, let me put it another way. If I am a website where I deliver services offline and I capture leads and I'm not selling anything from my website, that will work for me, content management system. What if I've got an e-commerce site? What do I do then? How do I manage my site then?
Well, you'll manage your sites. It's you could import new products, and you can create new products, duplicate them if you've got 2 products that are the same.
Yeah.
Also, a good example is if you have a seasonal website or a seasonal business where it's coming up to Easter, you want to market your website, and you can change the front slider to an Easter themed slider. So it just allows you to be more creative with your website and keep up with the market.
Okay,
really.
cool. The whole point here with updating your website is that you're capturing or offering yourself, or looking for even, which is more important, the ability to do the things that you need to do. So updating your website, you're looking for something that has a content management system. The particular systems we frequently use with our customers is WordPress. You've also got Joomla. So they're really 2 good content management systems. If you're selling from your websites, you sell online, e-commerce, that type of thing, you probably need to consider Magento e-commerce, and then you're probably looking at PrestaShop. You can find a bridge between the content management systems where they come with plugins. So if you're using WordPress, you can probably really get good functionality out of a plugin called WooCommerce. And if you're using Joomla, there's another plugin that works on Joomla called VirtueMart. So you can either not sell online, or you can sell online. And when you do sell online, if you're using something like Magento or PrestaShop, the features that come with these particular types of systems allow you to add products, manage orders, so you can delete products, you can look at inventory. So if you have an inventory-based e-commerce or shop or business setup, it will allow you to control the inventory. You can see what sales you're doing. You can look at returns, various things like that. So the whole point is that find something that gives you the greatest amount of flexibility when it comes to management. The systems are out there. You're not limited these days. It's 2015. There's so much on offer for small business owners when it comes to updating and managing their website. And here's the real important part. When you get to marketing, CMS websites are brilliant because you can scale up, duplicate, and create multiple landing pages when it comes to the marketing side of things, which we'll touch on a bit later. Okay, so our next question then, Jack. Right, we're on question. I'm testing you here, Jack. What's the question?
Oh, I'd say question 7.
7, that's right. Good maths there, good following. So how will a website benefit me and my business? It might seem obvious, but the whole point is that a website will benefit you and your business by demonstrating what you're trying to get out there, your message, your marketing message. And what we mean by your marketing message is that some type of value. What is it that you do? So whether you're a plumber, a lawyer, a solicitor, a shop fitter, a jeweler, what other clients do we have? Driving instructor. The whole point of your website is to get your message out there. And let me explain why. When it comes to using, the many facets of social media and marketing out there. So let's go Facebook, Twitter as an example. This is being streamed out on Google+. We've embedded it on Twitter as well. We've put the links out on Facebook. Should have embedded it there as well. I have to remember that one for next time. Is that these platforms are where you don't have control. You can put your message out there, but you don't control what your customers do. You can only do what these websites allow you to do. So you can put a link, you can put buttons, various things, ads, and so on. But your website is there for you to capture the people that come to your website. So whether you have got them to opt in to various things or whether they're buying from you, that's the whole point of the website. You get your message out there. So use it with content that appeals to them, content that breaks down objections, content that best sells you and your services. And so that's the whole point of your website. So I've come across businesses, even to this day, they don't have a website, or they have a one-page website. They're not taking advantage of what it means to have a website that you can update, you can market, you can adapt, you can put video on, you can really dive into that target audience and capture their imagination to the point where they believe and wish to do business with you. That's the benefit of a website. So if you haven't got a website yet, or you're looking at upgrading, take all of these things on board. Okay, so let's move back into question. What is it, Jack? 8. Here we go. Okay, this one's over to you, mate. I'm going to check if we've got any hashtags on Twitter while you did this one.
Okay, so question 8 is, how long does it take to complete a website project? And this can vary with some of the points we've made earlier on, as that if you've got a brochure website that's only 3 to 5 pages, this could probably be done in around a week, or I'd say a week to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it isn't a complex website. But if you were to start to have more pages, more functionality, then your project could go from, I'd say, around 2 to 4 months.
Yeah.
It all depends on functionality. So what design, depending on how complex the design is.
Yeah.
How many different functionalities you've got on the website as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm just going to add to what Jack's talking about there. So we do get this question a lot: how long does it take to complete my website project? But let's put it like this: if you want a cheap website, as Jack said, it will take a week to 2 weeks. You're probably talking about 3 to 5 pages, even a one-page website, which you can probably do in a day. And if you're looking at something more complex, just to give you an example, where we've got a couple of clients who they connect because they have e-commerce websites. Their website, we've developed connections that link off to suppliers. So an example would be, we've got one of our clients who connect to a diamond supplier, one of the biggest in the world. And I think it's every 20 minutes to an hour, there's a fresh update of inventory and pricing on the website. And so there's probably in the range of 300,000 SKUs or products. And so you can see that's huge. And so that type of website, it took somewhere in the region of about 4 to 6 months to develop, actually, because as the project started, some of the requirements evolved and there was a few other things thrown into the mix. Yeah. That tends to happen quite a bit. And so be clear about what you expect and what it is that you need from your project. And the other important point that Jack mentioned is design. You can have a cheap looking website, or you can have a website that makes you look $1 million or even pounds, because we've got our UK audience to think about. Now, there is a real important part here, is that design takes time. Creative design takes time, and creative design that is designed to convert leads into customers takes even more. But when you work with a company who understands those elements, and not just creative design, but design that converts leads into customers for you, that's what you're after. So when you're speaking to either a company like us or whoever you're speaking to, and you're looking at your new web design project, these are the things you need them to answer confidently so that you can move your business forward online. Is that all right?
Yeah, I think you made a good point about with the website where it connects to the diamond model.
Yeah.
That because as they were going through the website, they realized what functionality they needed.
Yeah.
And they realized how it could be upgraded, and maybe that's something they didn't think about at the beginning.
Correct.
So I think that's why it's important to make sure you know what you want from your website.
Yeah, and it's like Jack's pointing out, things crop up, things change. Maybe your business is going through growth at that time. And so, let it happen, get first phase out the way, and then move on to phase 2. Okay, so is it question 9 already?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Great. Okay, here's the real biggie for a lot of people. So they won't start with question 1 like we had with the target audience. They'll start with this one. And this is important. What budget should I invest in my website? How much should I pay? What's it going to cost? What deal can I get? So these are the questions that I think I'm asked more. So it's saying that you get loads of questions on the phone, I suppose, Jack.
Yeah.
So how much should you invest? Well, How long's a piece of string? No, I'm only joking. So if you were setting up, you know, a small website, cheap website, you're probably going to pay something in the region of £300 to £500, probably similar price in dollars, say $500, something like that. Now, I am talking cheap here. It's not something that we do. So you can pay that, or you can get even cheaper. I think, you know, the website builders out there now, they're good for some people, and they're a good fit, especially for startups. But with the kind of customers that we deal with, especially the small businesses who really want to accelerate growth, and, you know, they've got some big goals, some big dreams, and they need to look big in order to attract their customers in. You really want to be starting around about, say, £2,000 as an investment for a really well-designed, professional, conversion-focused website. When it comes to e-commerce, you're probably looking at around about £3,000 to £5,000 starting price as well. And it will boil down to what functionality you require, what design, and some of the other features maybe that you're thinking about. And so these are the important things. It's not a matter of what price is it and I'll go with that. You've really got to think about your requirements. And that's why we started this live hangout with the top 10 questions, and all of the front-loaded questions that we've asked you beforehand are all about your requirements. And so as long as you start to understand that, you'll probably appreciate and value the company that you're going to work with, and obviously the scale of how big your project is. And if it is small, then it's small. If it's big, maybe you're investing £20,000 up to £50,000 and beyond. And so it's just really understanding what your plans are, at what level your business is at, what marketing goals you've got, and be realistic about, well, if I'm going to invest X and do Y, we're going to get Z out at the end. So that's what I'd say on that. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I thought it was a really eloquently put answer as well. Yeah. Okay, final question. I'm going to hand this over to Jack to begin with. Question 10.
Right, so what do you do when your website's finished? It is a question we get a lot with customers. They get a website and they don't know what to do next. And the simple answer is you need to market the website. Yeah. So you've spent this money, you've invested money into a website, and it's looking great. But how do you get people to it? So that's SEO, pay-per-click,
content marketing, email marketing, social media marketing. Come on, some more. Hangouts, webinars. What are you going to say?
I was going to say blogging.
Yeah, so you can do podcasting. Remember to check out SB Elevation, the Small Business Elevation podcast, where you'll catch me and Rob. Also, the Your BFG podcast, where you'll catch me, Mike, and Dave. Bit of plug there.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that you can do. The things you can do online is almost limitless. The key thing here is not to do everything and lose focus. Don't dilute yourself. Make sure that whatever you are doing, you put in the energy into it and you're getting the results out. Because when it comes to marketing, results matter. How many leads, how many customers are you getting? How many people to the website? And then how many are converting into actual sales? Yeah, that's what small business is all about. Don't want to stay small business forever. You want to grow your business, and that's really why we put these questions together. So what I'm going to do is just quickly round up, because we're coming to a near end. So the first question was, who's your target audience and what do they expect? Number 2, what problems will your content solve? Number 3, how will your website work? Look at the functionality. Number 4, research. What are the competition doing? Get ideas. Number 5, what layout and design is right for me? Jack.
Yeah. 6, how will I update my website? So that's with content management systems. 7, how will a website benefit me and my business? So that's just about getting your brand out there and getting visitors to notice you. 8, how long does it take to complete my website? We mentioned this can vary from a week to 2 weeks for small websites and a couple of months for larger websites.
Up to 4 months.
Up to 4 months. 9, what budget should I invest? Again, that depends on the size of the website and their functionality.
And 10,
and what do I do when my website is finished? And that is to market the website and get it out there.
Okay, guys. So remember, hashtag ATYC, Ask the Young Cow. Get it out there, share it with like-minded small business owners, entrepreneurs, people who want to grow their business online with us. We're the team here at Young Cow who do the live hangout every Wednesday, 1 p.m. UK time. I think that works out to around about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or if you're in America, that's like New York time. Otherwise, you're live with us now. So we'll catch you next Wednesday. I hope you've enjoyed the show today, and we're just going to round up. to say thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say, Jack.
No.
Oh yeah, he's a Stoke supporter, by the way. He's from Stoke. I'm from Wolverhampton, so you can probably tell the accents. If not, who cares anyway? So ask the young cow. We'll catch you soon. Take care, but goodbye.